Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you about a new house that I discovered while I was in France a few months ago and I actually posted about it on Instagram. If you're following me there, you would have noticed a photo of this beautiful bottle by the new house of Chambre52. What do you think of this bottle? It's such a gorgeous bottle to me. I loved it. And when I saw the bottle, it really drew me in. I wanted to explore the collection, and I actually really fell in love with this fragrance, CUIR Corpse. It's a leather fragrance. Basically, it translates to leather body, or body leather. I think more leather body. And again, I wanted to highlight the brand for you guys to experience it here. I'm going to talk to you about this fragrance, what it smells like, all that good stuff. And then also talk to you about the remaining 5 fragrances. I have a discovery set here of all 6 fragrances, but obviously I have a bottle of CUIR Corpse here. And then I'm going to talk to you about the rest of the fragrances from samples. So if you're curious to learn about a new house, Chambre52, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian talking to you about Chambre52. Have you heard about this house yet? Did you catch my post on Instagram? I haven't been posting a lot there. I've been really busy focusing on YouTube, but I'll get back on Instagram here soon. But again, this was a discovery in France, not during Paris Perfume Week. I think it was during Paris Perfume Week, but not at the show. It was outside of the show. And again, when I saw this bottle, I was like, that bottle is gorgeous. I really want to have one of these fragrances in my collection because I really love the way the bottle looks. And I love the color combination as well. This kind of burgundy-ish brown color cap really fits nicely with the the bottle, the design, and of course the label, the kind of tan cream colored label, and the way the fragrance is names written, everything, the font and everything. I think they did a great job. And the bottle's designed by Jules Dinand. He is the grandson of Pierre Dinand. And if you guys aren't familiar with Pierre Dinand, I actually did a video with him. I had shot a video chit-chatting with Pierre. I got to meet him, and you can go catch that video, learn about the bottles that Pierre Dinand has created. But this is designed by the grandson of Pierre Dinand. So also, the fragrances are currently sold at Lucky Scent. You can go check them out. I have a link in the info box. You can discover CUIR Corpse and the 5 other fragrances from this house. But I really like the presentation, and again, I wanted to highlight it for you guys. For me, the first thing I need with fragrances, if I'm exploring new ones, is the presentation. Visually beautiful bottles really draw me in, and this one just drew me right in. I just love the attention to detail in the design. This to me almost looks like a ice cream cone. It's kind of shaped like it, so it's kind of perfect in the hand. You can hold it really nicely, but the presentation really drew me in, and at that time I was exploring the collection and really enjoying this one. It's a leather fragrance created by Domitille and Michalon-Bertier. And again, the translation is leather body. So if you're into leather, but this is on the sweet side, and for me, this one actually, I think it's more like suede leather because it's covered up nicely with benzoin. It's a resin. It's a sweet vanillic resin, and of course, vanilla as well. But when you first spray the fragrance, it starts off with a spicy pink pepper and juicy mandarin note. That kind of basically starts it. But I think what's prominent is the leather, of course. This is a leather fragrance in the end, and also the vanilla and benzoin, because that's kind of covering it up, smoothing it over, and acting leathery, but it's covered up with the sweetness. But if I didn't read the notes breakdown, it's mandarin orange, pink pepper, cinnamon, orange blossom, vanilla, patchouli heart, leather, animal accord, and benzoin. And if you're reading the notes breakdown for a fragrance, I took these notes breakdowns from Lucky Scent, by the way, because they are selling these fragrances. This does say animal accord. Does it get animalic? It does get animalic on me, but not anything I can't wear. And I think it's just how much you can tolerate. I'm not the biggest fan of overly animalic fragrances. I felt like this was perfect, but I wouldn't call this an animalic fragrance because the animalic qualities didn't really shine through on me as much as other animalic fragrances. There's some that I really enjoy that's overly animalic, but a lot I cannot tolerate because I just don't like the way the animalic fragrances smell. But here, as I said, it's nice, smooth, suede leather-like. It's beautifully covered up with the vanilla and benzoin. It's smoothed over, and this is, I think, when you're taking the leather and you're covering it up and smoothing it over with this kind of sweeter notes, resins, ambery effect with the benzoin and the vanilla, it's creating a bit of a suede leather-like accord or, experience here. But along the way, there's also some orange blossom. You'll notice it. It gives it a bit of a citrus floral freshness here. I feel like it accentuates the mandarin orange in the fragrance. There's also cinnamon spice listed here, and this is not a cinnamon fragrance. It's not going to smell like a holiday spice fragrance. I think they've used the right amount of cinnamon in this. The cinnamon just warms up the fragrance a bit more. And it makes it more comforting, The vanilla benzoin already has this comforting effect. And I personally don't consider leather fragrances to be comforting. But the fact that they've added the cinnamon with the vanilla and the benzoin, and it smooths over that leather so much, it makes it suede leather-like. And I really find suede to be a very cozy, comforting experience. Now, I wouldn't call this a gourmand. It's still leathery. You'll really experience the leather. You'll also experience a little bit of the patchouli and the dry down as well. But it's sweetened up enough that it's kind of bordering kind of a gourmand, but it's a really great fragrance to wear. It's a nice take on the leather. And again, not animalic, but it depends on how much you can tolerate animalic fragrances. Again, for me, it didn't really come through too much. And I just like the way it shines on me and it wears on my skin. It's super smooth, suede leather-like, with spices and, floral notes thrown in. And of course, I can't forget the vanilla and benzoin that's in here. So I think this is a pretty good start. After going through the samples once again, this has become my favorite. There's a few that I also enjoy, and I'll let you know which ones they are. But again, a really great looking bottle, really great fragrance from Domitille Michalon-Bertier. And a great start to a new house, Chambre52. Let me know if you've sampled the collection, or have you discovered it, or you've seen the fragrances. Did you catch my post on Instagram? Add a comment below, and if you have a favorite, you've sampled them, maybe you got a discovery set like this. You have a favorite, add a comment below. But if you want more information on the brand, definitely click to Lucky Scent in the info box and you can go and discover the brand a bit more further there. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is called Tobacco Memories. Right there, it's a sample, obviously. This is also created by Domitille Michalon-Bertier. I think she did 3 fragrances. There's Caroline Dumur who did 2, and Nicolas Beaulieu did 1, I believe. They're all IFF perfumers, but these are not the biggest perfumers there. Of course, oh wait, there's one more perfumer here. I think Jean-Christophe also did, so maybe Domitille did 2. We'll get to all the different perfumers, but Tobacco Memories has notes of tobacco absolute, iris, Morello cherries, saffron, incense, vanilla, and oak moss. Now, I've never experienced a tobacco fragrance with cherries, so it's kind of unique to experience it. Of course, there's tobacco vanille, there's the tobacco and the dark chocolate or chocolate with the caron, or there's tobacco honey with the guerlain. But this is something that has a slight fruitiness, but still powdery from iris as well. And it does get a bit leathery, but I wouldn't call this a over-the-top cherry experience. I feel like the cherry just makes a sweet, fruity appearance here, still dominated by the tobacco that's in here. And, nicely playing along with the dominant notes of the tobacco and the iris. I feel like those are pretty much dominating. And this is not like Lost Cherry. It doesn't smell like a cherry fragrance like that. This is more of a masculine cherry, I would say. This does lean masculine to me. And it's not uber fruity. It's more about that tobacco absolute note. There's some sweetness under there for sure. But I think definitely if you're looking for something tobacco-ish, definitely check out Tobacco Memories from Chambre52. All right, next up we have Contre ta peau. I think that's how you say it. So this is translated to Against Your Skin. This is created by Caroline Dumur. This is featuring notes of heliotrope, animal accord, orange blossom, pink pepper, petitgrain, vanilla, neroli, musk, and aniseed. I like this one because it's the idea of skin. It's powdery. The heliotrope to me is a very powdery note. It's a purple flower. It also creates a bit of almondy effect. But they have animal accord once again, but this one has an overdose of citrusy touches. There's orange blossom, petitgrain, and neroli. So that's intensified here against the animal accord and the powdery effect of the heliotrope. But there's definitely an almondy thing happening here and a skin thing happening, which is what I like. Of course, they have musk. It's quite musky. And the aniseed appears quite nice in here as well. It's a note that doesn't come up too often, but for me, this is one of the best ones in the collection. I like musky fragrances. I like powdery fragrances. And even though this doesn't have any iris, that heliotrope is providing so much like powdery effect. And the fact that it's there, it's also giving you a bit of an almondy effect as well. So that's CONTRE Tapeau. That's a really great one. I really love that one. The next one is called Bois Flotte. That one right there. That translates to driftwood. So drift, float, and bois, of course, is wood. So this is created by Nicolas Beaulieu. This has notes of gaillac wood, turmeric leaf, patchouli heart, fleur de sel, sandalwood, cashmeran, suederol, vetiver, cool wood, cedar heart. So is cool wood IFF's take on Akigala wood? I had to look it up, but it's not. It's more of a watery wood kind of an effect, I think. It's a synthetic molecule. And they also have suederol in this, and it's a, suede. I guess it's a suede synthetic note. But this is quite salty and marine as well, and it gives you that kind of a marine woody effect with an overdose of spiciness. And it's interesting. Marine notes are not my favorite, and even though they don't mention algae or calone or seaweed or anything like that in here, you're getting it from the saltiness of the fleur de sel or sea salt. But it's done in a way that it's very enjoyable. So I think it's because of that I enjoyed this one, because it doesn't feature something like algae or seaweed or my most despised note of calone. There's a bit of a minty effect in here, like camphor, almost like eucalyptus, and I think we're getting that from the turmeric note. It's turmeric leaf, actually, not the actual, the spice. So there's a bit of a camphor-like effect, which is quite nice. This is also a really nice one. This is Bois Flotte. Yeah, I was right. There's a fragrance here by Jean-Christophe. It's a perfumer over at IFF, and I actually shot a video with him discussing some of the creations he did with the Jacques Fatt. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch that. We're talking mostly about the latest Jacques Fatt fragrance launching at the end of the year. But this fragrance is Soleil Tonka, this one right here. So Soleil Tonka, Soleil basically means sun, Tonka, sun Tonka. It's a solar kind of a fragrance with tonka. There's tonka beans, amber, sea salt, solaris, labdanum, benzoin, vanilla, coconut bark, and mate. So what's the difference between coconut bark and coconut? For me, when I smell this fragrance, I get a creamy effect, and I assume that's from coconuts, not the bark. Anyway, just a little thing to point out. There's also solaris. It seems to be like a synthetic solar accord type note, maybe from IFF, because these are IFF perfumers. But the tonka beans is quite prominent here, and I haven't experienced saltiness with tonka note. So this is taking tonka to the beach, basically. You got the saltiness from the sea, and you got the solar effect from the sun and everything like that. This is also a really fun fragrance, I think. I think these three that I've spoken about really work. The Tobacco Memories was not my all-time favorite, but Soleil Tonka, Bois Flotte, and CONTRE Tapeau are really solid offerings, along with CUIR Corp right here. So if I was going to pick, I would put CUIR Corp, CONTRE Tapeau at number 2, Soleil Tonka at number 3, and Bois Flotte at number 4. But we haven't spoken about ORENCIE yet, and that's the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about, ORENCIE. ORENCIE is also created by Caroline Dumur. It's musk, lychee fruit, sandalwood, amber, rose oxide, geranium rhodonol, pyrazine, angelica root, cedar, milk. And what is pyrazine? It says pyrazines are flavor and fragrance compounds, often with nutty, roasted, or toasty notes. So that's something I found online. I hadn't heard of that note before, but apparently it's here. This is mostly a very dry, not very jammy dry. It's a dry take on rose, and I think it's the rose oxide that's creating a dryness, but they've also thrown in the geranium rhodonol. Geranium has a rosiness, also with a mintiness. So this to me is very, very rosy and dry. Also very, very musky. I like the fact that they use a really nice musk in this. The fruitiness for me just doesn't come out as much. I have to wear it on skin to see if it gets quite fruity, but for me on the strip, it's quite prominent with the rosiness, and I feel like that geranium really intensifies it. This is also a solid one. For me, the one that really doesn't work as much, even though I think it's a solid release, I wouldn't consider it one of my favorites, is the Tobacco Memories, but ORENCIE is also quite nice. The fruitiness does come out later, I should say, because it's now appearing on that strip. But those are my thoughts on these 6 fragrances from the house of Chambre52, with CUIR Corp being my favorite. And let me know your thoughts on the collection. What do you think about the bottle? They do have bottles in a large and a small, and the small ones look like this, but the similar design, and really great collection. Really love the presentation. And the fragrances are also solid, and definitely you guys should check them out. Again, as I said, they are selling over at Lucky Scent. Click the link to the website to check out the fragrances. But let me know if your thoughts, again, as I said, add a comment below, and also let me know which sounds great to you, which of the fragrances, and if you've known about the brand and you've sampled them, do let us know which you like. Add a comment below. Again, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.